Hello. All right. Here's some of the repercussions of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, who, as I said before in a previous video, died needlessly. Now, I may not have agreed with Charlie Kirk 99% of the time on the things that he said. All you have to do is go and look up his videos to see how he believed and the way he treated women, the way he treated people who were a different color than white, the way he believed about the LGBT community, how he advocated for the death of them. For all the divisive things that he said. And then you can understand how I disagreed with him. But he died needlessly. He should not have been assassinated. Now, the person who killed him, there's a lot of controversy about him, and I'm not even going to mention his name. Because right at the moment, I'm going to talk about the repercussions of what happened. Trump and all of his minions and all of his cult lost their ever-loving minds. And they started a war, or tried to start a war against anybody on the left. Any liberal, any Democrat. That was the first thing. People started getting fired from their jobs for even saying anything against Charlie Kirk or quoting him, the things that he said that they disagreed with. We had violence escalating. There were 2 young black men in Mississippi that were hanged. And the KKK openly meeting in Alabama, full regalia. Another thing that has happened is that people have tried to make a martyr of Charlie Kirk. He's no martyr. He did not die because of his beliefs, his religious beliefs at all. It was a politically motivated assassination. And it was done by a man who had grown up in an extremely conservative, gun-toting, MAGA, Trump-loving family who had become radicalized. And was a follower of Nick Fuentes, who disliked Charlie Kirk and had come to blows verbally, as it were, in remarks towards Charlie Kirk. Now Nick Fuentes has come forth and said that he does not want the people that follow him to resort to violence, and that he feels like his life is endangered by this. And of course, everybody is pointing fingers at the Democrats and the liberals. But yet we were not the ones that did it. 95% of the time. When it comes to a mass shooting or an act of political violence where somebody is assassinated, it has been an extreme conservative Republican that has done it. Now, of what's left over, you can say, 14% of it was liberals. But 14% is not a majority. 14% is an extreme minority. Of those that were trans or trans-leaning, less than half of 1% of the violence that has been done. You can't point fingers and say, everybody is this, when you've got all those other fingers pointing back at you because you're the one that's actually doing it. Now, good Christians, what did Jesus teach? The Jesus of the Bible. Love God, love one another. No exceptions. He didn't say love one another only if they're white. He didn't say love one another only if they were born in this country. He didn't say love one another only if they are of the same religious beliefs as you are, or the same sexual orientation as you are. Jesus said without qualifications, love one another as yourself. Now, when you go out and you hate on people, you are doing to others as unto yourself. Also, you are doing to others as you do to Jesus. Because what did he say in the Beatitudes in the Sermon on the Mount? What you do to the least of these, you have done unto me. When you reach the judgment day, after you die, you go to the pearly gates and you get greeted by St. Peter and Jesus. Among the questions Jesus will ask of you, how did you treat the least of these? How did you love me? How did you show the world you loved me by your life? If your life is completely against the things that what he taught, even while you say that you believe in Jesus, you aren't going to get to go inside those pearly gates. You'll get sorted out with the ones that have to go into your hell. He will say, I never knew you because you didn't do what I told you I wanted you to do. You didn't live as I tried to live on this earth. So what are the repercussions after Charlie Kirk's death? We are seeing what American Christianity really is like. We are seeing how much hate there is. In 1/3 of the population of America, that's approximately how many people are actually members of the MAGA cult that worships Trump and his golden calf idols. They show up at the CPAC with this golden statue of Trump dressed up in a flag outfit. Somebody makes a 14-foot tall bronze statue of Trump just for himself to worship. Trump has a meme of a golden statue of himself that he just loves. He wants people to worship him instead of God. That's another thing Jesus is going to ask. Who did you worship, really, truly? Me or a false prophet? A false Messiah who claimed that he was here to save you? Christians, dear Christians, let this pagan who grew up as a Christian, who still believes Jesus, but will not call myself a Christian, let me guide you back to the Jesus of the Bible. You cannot call yourself a Christian and sow seeds of hatred and violence toward your fellow man. You cannot, in the name of Jesus, worship another man as if he were Jesus. You cannot promote or actively engage in the assassination of another human being. You can't go out and hang people on trees just because they're the wrong color. You can't engage in mass shootings, whether they're in a school, a church, a Jewish temple, a Muslim temple, a shopping mall, a theater, a restaurant, a hospital. That happened here in Tulsa. You can't do these things and call yourself a Christian. And you cannot cherry pick the Bible to justify your hatred of other people. The aftermath of the assassination of Charlie Kirk has shown very clearly who is and who is not a true follower of Jesus Christ. It has shown the love in this country actually does not exist within the church anymore. The acceptance of other people. The wanting to help other people. The taking of accountability for one's own actions. The looking in the mirror and facing your own sins. Repenting and trying to change and make a better person of yourself. These things are no longer within the church. See, I still listen to the sermons of other pastors, other people who are clergy. On Sunday, I will deliberately go on YouTube and find what is actually being promoted by the pastors who have their channels. And very, very few of them at this point in time are actually doing anything except parroting what Trump wants people to hear. Trump is not Jesus. He is not God. And the Republican version of Jesus is not the biblical Jesus. I would like to say that I believe this country will be better, that we will wake up because of Charlie Kirk's assassination. But honestly, it would surprise me very much because we are headed like a bunch of lemmings for the highest cliff to jump off of. And this country is being led by a draft-dodging, adjudicated rapist, child predatory, 34-count felon who has twice been impeached, as the king lemming. When you reach the top of that cliff and he jumps off and he takes everybody with us, who are you going to be facing when the bombs start dropping and you're at ground zero? Something to think about. Y'all have a good day now. Love y'all.